what's going on? It's a girl T.I.E here, which stands for Together, Individual, and Team. Okay, so today I am in the not the last chapter. I just tell you about the final chapter of the 5 chapter preview from book 1, Gilded Rose, and that is written by Emma Hamm. Basically, this 5 chapter preview has been a privilege and an honor just to make this work. But like I said, I'm going to do a 5 chapter preview on the 2 other books, which are Emerald Rose and Midnight Rose. If you want to get those books yourself, they're on Amazon. And basically, you can also get the audio version on Amazon. But they do not come together. I'm just saying. Okay, so we're going to get into the final 5 chapter preview of Gilded Rose. So chapter 5. And as usual, I'm going to make it a little more creative by playing fantasy music. Trust me, it's always unique. If you're reading a fantasy book like me, I suggest, and I'm serious, I suggest reading fantasy music when you're reading a fantasy book. It's pretty interesting. Here we go. Her heart thundered in her chest, and her lungs heaved, for even as her vision swore. With dark spots, they were coming for her, hunting her like nothing more than prey. Satan could catch in their claws. The pattering sound of her footsteps was too loud even to her own ears. Satan would find her if she didn't hide and tuck herself into another nook or cranny and hopefully find a few moments of peace. Moments to figure out how she would get out of the chateau and out into the forest once more. Fire. Before she hadn't lost her torch, Amisha raced into the kitchen, catching herself on the door just before she slammed into the wall. She turned and closed the door behind her. The loud click of the door handle was the pound of a nail in Hannah Charlton. She heard the sound. The hunger growls followed, the clicks of their nails on the floor, and the soft hush on their wings beating at the air. She spun on her heel and pressed her back against the solid wood. There was no lock. She only had a few heartbeats to save herself. She could run out near the back door and into the snow once more. But the chateau had little cover from the sky, and they would find her if she bolted. They would hunt her from above as they had in her own village. Right. He mightn't be with them. Perhaps, and she wouldn't even be able to recognize him. Did it mean the people who were still alive? Surely not. She had burned the city to the ground like her father had requested. No one really could have survived that. She left the cabin before she smelled razors and taken away their chances of turning her people into monsters. Not of guilt. That had been churned her stomach for so long. Well, let's just say for so long it was now at least. She understood why her father had been so set in this must happen. She understood why her father had been so set this must happen. Her people would have died a horrible death either way, at least with the fire. The fire their sound had burned away, clean and pure. She shook her head and stepped away from the door. Her father had not raised a daughter who would freeze in fear. The back door wasn't an option, but old chateaus, such as this, hid many secrets, perhaps passages allowing the servants to move easier. All she had to do was find one before the creature found her. And trust me, this is unbelievable where it is now. If she was right, then she would live a few more moments as a human. If she wasn't, a shiver trailed down her spine like one of the dragons had run their nail down her back. If she was wrong, then life as she knew it would eat. He would cease to. But her body would continue on. She ran to the wall, where all the pots and pans hung. Then swept her finger over the stones. There had to be something or some hidden latch. that you could pull or a button that she pushed to reveal the chateau's mysteries. The pounding feet of the creatures passed the door. Their claws scraped on the ground as they moved, but it was the thud and slinting of a wing hitting the kitchen door that made her flinch. They had passed by the servant quarters for now, a small blessing that wouldn't last for very long. Her shoulders hooked in her hands. It swung on its hook, and each swing was a clock ticking down for a last breath until it fell and struck the stone floor. The clanging mountain roared with dread. There she was. She froze, but already knew she had limited her time no more. A call. We sounded through the hallway beyond, and the hunt changed in the direction. The door bulged forward as something strong hit in her front on the other side. Anita dropped onto her hands and knees, then crawled underneath the table and below the pots and pans. She pulled herself as tight as she could, wishing that there was more than just a few baskets full of rotten vegetables to hide behind. Please, if there is anyone listening, please help me. The door locked forward again. This time, the wood splintering, a clawed hand reached through the gap, and the yellow eyes stared through the warpwood. It rotated wildly in the socket until it settled on her. Their gazes locked eyes disappeared as more of the creatures clustered around the opening. She had only moments of control remaining over her own body, of knowing she was still herself. Amisha shifted backward again, pushing with her heels until her back hit the wall. A small click echoed in her ear, and a tiny panel in the wall opened underneath the table. She held her breath surely. This wasn't something the servants had used. It was only large enough for a child to fit through, or a small woman who was thin enough to slide through. The time its thing had already passed, and Misha dove forward and shoved the panel. The stone gave away beneath her hand, allowing her to push it open and slide through on her belly. She pulled herself into the narrow tunnel beyond. She could just barely remain past the once she slid through the narrow opening. Stone on either side and pressed against her. Side of the stone from above touched her head and back, but it was enough room to slither through the walls. She kicked out of her foot behind her and touched the loose stone that had opened the panel. The rock slid back into the place as the door shattered and the creatures burst into the room. Anisha moved. A heavy net and spiral filled the strange tunnel. Their gossamer threads clung to her hair, stuck with the lips and the face, entangled in a long length of skirt trailing behind her. The many-legged spider skithered along her arms and backed in grace. She had so carelessly destroyed their hard work. She choked the whimpers in her throat, swallowing. Whimpers until they lodged in her chest like toothpicks. Hand over hand, she dragged herself through the small tunnel and the wall until it opened into a space between rooms. The hidden area where servants might have brought food, drink, or messages between the nobility, who had gorged themselves to fine dining in solitude. Anisha straightened her bones, aching as though she had aged years in just a few moments. The fear had drained from her body, leaving behind nothing but an empty hut. She didn't know what to do. Her father, Remy, and little March. Where did she have left now? Just herself, the breath in her lungs, and the knowledge that her father would never have wanted her to give up. Keep on living, he had once told her. When the darkness closes in on you, that is the only way you can defeat it. Continue to live in defiance of all the shadows want to take you from you. Keep the light inside your chest burning. And so, that was all she had, all she continued doing. Amisha blew out the breath. The space wasn't large, but there was enough room to breathe without feeling The stone was closing in on her. Beams crossed above her head and disappearing into the shadows and weighed down with so many cobwebs. She could hardly imagine how many spiders called their place their home. Dim silver light was filtered through small holes in the walls where the servants might have watched from the nobles. In the days when the chateau had been more splendorous and then haunting. A few square stones were missing from their place, so she had to duck under them or the dread might see her. She brushed the cobwebs from her shoulders and moved forward gingerly, each step that she chose with careful precaution, as she already made no mistakes for the night. Amisha reached up and brushed aside a thick blanket web, only to find herself at a crossroads. There were 3 different tunnels, each one leading to an opposite direction. She couldn't make her way out of the chateau now. They would search for her outside as well as within, which meant she needed to find some kind of safe nest and give herself a few moments of peace. She didn't know what kind of safe place she could make, with the spiders crawling into their home, long legs splashing along the ceiling and floor. A few other skitters suggested there were rats. Anisha swallowed hard. Rats were among the creatures. The tiny breasts and the tiny feet always found themselves in the stone room. At her father's home, she'd always refused to kill them, no matter what the project her father was working on. It doesn't matter, she told herself. Take a tunnel and continue on, Anisha. Turning right, she made her way down the hallway, identical to the one she had just left. This place was a labyrinth, and she could find herself lost if she wasn't careful. She caught her foot on a loose stone and nearly tumbled forward, biting her lip against the sun-jarring pain. She leaned against the wall. Amisha reached down to rub her toes, only to realize her hand braced against the stone was touching, not just a textured rock, but a pattern. Stooping low, she stared at the small marker. It was a bunch of grapes. Crudely done, yes, but it was grapes. With a small arrow pointing into the left, back down. Touching not just texture, rock but a pattern. Stooping low, she stared at the small marker. It was a bunch of grapes. Cunningly done, yes, but it was grapes with a small arrow pointing to the left, back down the hall from which she came. Clever, the grapes must be a direction for the kitchens, which meant she could look for another clue to see where she was going. Wind whistled down the tunnels, ending in a low moan. The hairs on her arms rose. She could see through the faint moonlight. The spider webs hadn't been disturbed in years, but that didn't mean that she still wasn't afraid of spirits, and that walked into these halls. Amisha straightened and continued down the tunnel. She stopped herself. She didn't know where she was going or why she had chosen this route, but she could find out where it went. A small nugget of information would satisfy the curiosity that still sat in her chest. Even now, she could feel the keen light of her soul glow, brighter with direction and purpose. Follow curiosity, she thought, as she walked through the walls, mother bravery, Auntie's dream of the future, uncle's kindness. She listed all the things that made her the person she was, the things she could never forget, all the traits she had taken from her. Family and mess had turned her into the woman she was. All the things that made her stronger, not just the lost woman in the walls. In the next four-way meeting, the tunnels held 3 new symbols: a book, a diamond ring, and a crescent moon. Amisha pondered for a time. The book must be a marker for the library, which she would greatly enjoy seeing if the circumstances were different. for she knew if she went, she would give up. It was better to die doing something she loved, such as reading a book, than hiding in the walls like a mouse. She simply wasn't ready to die yet. The diamond ring stunned her, although she supposed it could be a symbol for one of the nobles who had lived here. She didn't want to find a room to sleep in, for that could only end the same way as the library. She would sniff her out, which meant the only option was the moon. The strangest symbol of them all. Breathing out a low breath, she picked webs out of her hair, and she traveled straight forward and followed the markers of the moon. Strangely, she came to a set of stairs, the spiral staircase she had seen better days. There were small grooves, and each of the steps were thousands of footsteps had worn the stone into a different shape. Somehow, that was the most reassuring thing she'd seen in this place yet. This chateau was not cursed. It had once been a place for the living, a home where people had walked through these walls only to serve those they worked for. This was a place she could live in. The dragon hadn't destroyed the world. Anisha reached out her hand and pressed it against the wall when it had been smoothed for thousands of hands, steadying themselves. Her fingers caught on the smallest of carvings, unlike the others, E plus S, a love letter perhaps. Smiling, she made her way up to the dark staircase. The light faded behind her until she couldn't even see her hand, where it rested. But she continued taking her way into the blackness and focusing on her breathing. Finally, she turned a corner, the light assaulted her eyes. She blinked against the page. A brightness lifting her hand to shield herself from the gleaming moonlight. She looked down at the dust and red-covered skirts, only to see a rainbow of colors cast upon a worn fabric. What? She whispered, stepping into the most beautiful room she had ever seen in her life. White marble pillars stood at attention, one after the other, against the wall where they had been carved into tree trunks where leaves might have been. Stained glass stretched toward the ceiling, and strictly placed glass shards made it look like 100 colors decorated each individual tree. It was a forest of glass and stone, man-made and yet so beautiful that it rivaled nature itself. Jaw agape. She stepped into the room and pressed her hands against her mouth, but her body wasn't deaf. Somehow not acknowledging the artistic achievement of the room, felt sacrilegious. The room was empty. No furniture, no painting, nothing more than glass stone. And the moonlight filtering through the false leaves, and yet this room was the first she had seen that did not appear to have fallen into despair. Exhaustion nearly swallowed her whole. She was so tired, her limbs aching, perhaps for a few moments she could rest her head here. Anisha made her way into the farthest corner, close where the stairs began and curled up into the ball on the cold marble floor. Tomorrow she would investigate this place. Further tomorrow she would find out why these creatures were in the chateau, and perhaps if they had more of her people hidden away tomorrow, but no sooner. All right, so that was chapter 5, our final 5 chapter preview for book 1, Gilded Rose by Emma. Excuse me. Now remember, if you want to read these books yourself, you can purchase them on Amazon. Gilded Rose, book 2 is Emerald Rose, book 3 is Midnight Rose. You can also find the audio on Amazon as well. And teachers, here's a little tip. If you want to give your English class an assignment, how about giving them an assignment for doing a book report about a retelling fairy tale like these 3 Rose Trilogy books, which this one is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. So this is Ty saying, get into a good book and enjoy reading. Bye!
Are you looking for adventure or something funny to make you laugh? Maybe a mystery or a drama, some of this and some of that. A library is like a big buffet. Try